Hello, in this tutorial we'll show you a quick setup of how to get your Clawbot that you just completed the build for up and running with your remote control. So if you go and look at your manual and you skip to the back to page 16, they'll show you how to go about wiring your Clawbot. So you want to make sure you've connected your left drive motor to port 1 as shown here, your right drive motor to port 10 shown here, and then your claw motor to port 6 and your arm motor to port 7. When doing so, you can plug ports your left and right drive motor straight to your Cortex via the 2-wire ports that those are, but for ports 6 and 7 they're 3-wire ports, so you're going to need to use your 3-wire motor controller to connect those to ports 6 and 7. Here's a graphic of our remote control, and you'll see how we'll get to this later. We'll explain it in our code how your right drive is going to be controlled by the right joysticks, which are channels 1 and 2. Your left drive is going to be controlled by your left joystick, which is channels 3 and 4. Your claw will be opened and closed by buttons 5 on your left. Your arm will be going up and down by buttons up and down number 6 on your right hand side. So that's how we'll go about setting up and using our Clawbot code. So let me jump into it really quick. Simple enough. We're using RobotC for VEX, not the graphic RobotC, just regular RobotC. Quick setup. Just go and open up your program. While in here, one of the first things you want to do and check for, go to Robot at the top. Make sure the platform type is set correctly to VEX 2.0 Cortex. If it's not, go down to VEX Robotics and select VEX 2.0 Cortex. You want to also make sure you're in Natural Language 2.0. After that, I always like to start off using a sample program because those are always simple enough to get us started. If I go to sample program, I can come down to my remote control section. You go to Clawbot, single joystick control. Now this is almost like we want, but in here it has my Clawbot. It has my motor set up correctly. Port 1 is left drive, port 10 is right drive, my claw is port 6, and my arm is port 7, just like we set it up from our booklet. But the difference down here is that it's going to have our robot being controlled by one joystick, the right side of our joystick, channel 2. I want to change that and make it to the left and the right. So the left joysticks are channels 3 and 4. I just want to go and simply change this 2 to a 3. And I can come over here and delete the other channel, because simply channel 3, and this is going to control my Y and X axis control on channel 2. Sorry, channel 3. My channel 2 that's over here, I want to go delete this. This is if I were using both the left and right and up and down on the joysticks, but we don't need to do that. Change that. Clean up this code just a little bit, taking out some of these unnecessary parentheses now. You'll see everything in green is known as a comment. So you'll see my left side is going to be controlled by my left joysticks, which is channel 3 and 4. Just have a channel 3 divided by 2, so it has my X and Y. And my right motor is going to be controlled by my right joystick. A little bit more about the code, you'll notice here the green are also all comments. After that, raise and lower our arm by button 5 on the left if it's pressed, or 1, move the arm, raise the arm, 127. Else if it's the button down on the left hand side is pressed, move your arm down, so it's negative 127. Otherwise, nothing's pressed, 0, so do nothing. Same thing with on the right side with our buttons up and down. On the 6 side, if the button 6 up is pressed, or 1, then we want to move our claw. We want to open our close our claws. And if the down button 6 down is pressed, we want to open the claw. Otherwise, again, do nothing. You're going to go to your motors and sensors, make sure everything's set up correctly there. You'll see our left motor is on port 1. Our right motor is already on port 10. Claw is 6, and the arm is 7. This is because we've opened up the Clawbot program, so by default it put everything in there for us, wired it just like we have it wired in our instruction manual. When it says reverse motor over here, the motors are the exact same, so when you flip it and one's going the other way, they're mirror images, so they either go forward or backwards. So we have to turn one around so they go in the same direction. In this case, it was the left motors that was turned around. Okay. After that, you always want to compile your programs and make sure there's no errors in it. If it were, it would show it down here. It's not. Now you download it, get your orange cable, plug one into your USB port on your computer, the other into your Cortex on your robot. I don't have it plugged in now, so I'm going to error, but you would download to robot. And after that, disconnect the cord from your computer. You can plug that into your joystick. Turn off your Cortex on your robot, turn it back on, and you can begin programming. Before you can do all this, remember to always plug in your blue battery to your actual Cortex on your robot. It needs to have a battery on that. The joystick, when it's tethered or wired to the Cortex, you do not need it to begin. Stay tuned for part 2 to watch the Super Clawbot programming video.